Welcome to the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald Talking Newspaper podcast, a recording of this week's local newspaper, created by volunteers for Q and Review Recording Services, which is a charity based in Bishopbriggs. These recordings are from the Wednesday the 3rd of December 2025 edition. If you have any feedback or general inquiries about our service, you can call 0141 724 1797 and we'll get back to you. We hope you enjoy the podcast.
FOI failures flagged up. A report by Julie Curry. East Dunbartonshire Council failed to comply with a Freedom of Information FOI appeal within the required legal timescale. This resulted in Scottish Information Commissioner David Hamilton expressing his frustration with the local authority. Under FOI law, the Commissioner is required to give public authorities 6 weeks to comply with his decisions. The Commissioner had ordered the Council to respond to a request about the relocation of Lenzie Academy by no later than October 13. However, the Council failed to issue its response until significantly after that date. A response was eventually provided on November 4, 22 days after the deadline. Had the Council failed to issue a response, the Commissioner would have had the power to refer the matter to the Court of Session as a potential contempt of court. Under current provisions, however, he had no power to ask the court to review a case where timescales were breached. In the Commissioner's views, these circumstances undermine the robust and timely enforcement of Scotland's FOI laws. Mr. Hamilton said, "I find it extremely frustrating that I am unable to seek appropriate remedial action in circumstances where a public authority has failed to comply with the timescales set out in my FOI decisions. This case, East Dunbartonshire Council's extremely late response, disrespected both the FOI regulatory processes and FOI's acts underlying principles of openness and accountability. Importantly, it also led to the requester facing a further extended delay before receiving information requested several months before. A failure to comply with my decision timescales is an affront to legislation that is designed to bring transparency and accountability to public bodies. It denies individuals of their rights, undermines our FOI regime, and increases the costs to my office. Public authorities should be aware that I will consider all and any options to ensure that my decisions are complied with in a prompt and timely manner. The applicant asked the Council for information about the relocation of Lenzie Academy, but refused to respond to the request as it considered the request to be manifestly unreasonable. However, the Commissioner found that the Council had provided inadequate submissions to evidence that the request was unreasonable and asked it to respond. Anne Davey, Council Chief Executive, said, "We acknowledge the decision by the Scottish Information Commissioner. The failure to comply was not due to any reluctance to provide a response, but rather due to an administrative error, which was then compounded by pressing operational demands." A personal apology was given to the Commissioner's office in October. Once the error had been raised, the information, which required significant resource and time to review the relevant records, was sent to the requester within 3 weeks. As part of the response, the requester also received an apology. The Council takes its responsibility under Freedom of Information seriously. This can be seen from the returns to the Scottish Information Commissioner which demonstrates the council consistently has a high percentage return in relation to meeting statutory deadlines. That report was written by Julie Curry and read by me, Nikki.
This week in history. December 7, 1982. Charles Brooks Jr., a prisoner at Fort Worth, was executed by a lethal injection, the first to die by this method in the US. On this day last year, the president of Atlanta-based Tyler Perry Studios died when the small plane he was piloting crashed on Florida's Gulf Coast. September the 8th, 1991, leaders of the three republics, Russia, Belarus and Ukraine, formed a Commonwealth of Independent States and pronounced the Soviet Union dead. On this day last year, McFly singer and guitarist Danny Jones was named winner of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here 2024. TV personality Colleen Rooney came in second place, while Reverend Richard Coles, who was part of pop duo The Communards, placed third. December 9, 1990. Solidarity leader Lech Walesa was elected President of Poland. On this day last year, a film about Irish rap trio Kneecap won 7 gongs at the British Independent Film Awards, BIFA, 2024, including Best British Independent Film. December 10, 1936. Edward VIII signed the Instrument of Abdication. He chose his love of American divorcee Wallis Simpson over his royal duty. And that was This Week in History.
Locals still have questions over the new school site. East Dunbartonshire Council has been seeking to build a new school to replace Lenzie Academy for several years. The school was recently criticised in a fire safety report which found there was substantial risk to life from numerous hazards in the building. The council selected Whitegates Park as the new site, but the decision split local opinions. Campaigners feel the council has been secretive over the issue and said minutes had not been taken at a meeting that decided on the school location. They also pointed to a survey in 2018 when the site was being considered for a new Additional Support Needs ASN school that found a toxic risk from shallow soils. East Dunbartonshire Council said further survey work found Whitegates Park would be suitable if remedial work was carried out. However, those opposing the Whitegates Park site also queried why a scoring system used in 2018 was dropped for the most recent evaluation of the land. The council said this was to avoid criteria being used that did not apply to every site option. A spokesperson for Save Whitegates Park Group said the Information Commissioner's comments reflected local frustration about engaging with the council and a lack of information. The spokesperson said there is a deep and legitimate alarm over the way the council has managed this process. Our community will not accept decisions made without proper scrutiny or engagement. We call on East Dunbartonshire Council to urgently address these failures, provide full clarity on how decisions have been made, and re-establish an open and lawful process that respects the rights and expectations of the public. Mid Dunbartonshire MP Susan Murray has also been critical of the council. She said there has been a complete failure by East Dunbartonshire Council to be transparent. This comes on top of its failure to consult the wider community on the proposed site for the new Lenzie Academy at an early stage.
Survey targeting postal services. This article is unattributed. West Scotland MSP Jamie Green has launched a new survey to help improve postal services across the region. It comes amid growing concerns around delays, missed deliveries and reduced accessibility. The survey asks people to share their recent experiences with delivery times, parcel issues and access to post office services. Information collected will help inform a factual, non-political response to Consumer Scotland, which is currently seeking evidence on postal performance and consumer issues across the country. Many communities in Scotland have reported increasingly unreliable delivery patterns, long delays and access difficulties. The aim of the survey, which is anonymous and open to all West Scotland residents, is to build a clearer picture of the issues affecting households and small businesses locally. Responses will help to build a clear evidence base and ensure communities are accurately represented as postal services undergo wider review. You can fill out the 2-minute survey by searching West Scotland Postal Survey online. Jamie said, "Postal services are a lifeline for many people, from receiving important medical letters to getting parcels delivered for work or family. I'm hearing more concerns from residents about delays, missed deliveries and unwelcome changes to local services. It's important we understand the scale of these issues from the people who rely on them most. I'd encourage readers to take a couple of minutes to share their views." That article was unattributed and it was read by Jahan.
Kirkintilloch Herald, Wednesday, December the 3rd, 2025. Free car parking. An early Christmas present has been delivered to shoppers and locals in East Dunbartonshire, and it will help those who are planning a shopping trip or lunch with friends in Bearsden, Bishopbriggs, Kirkintilloch and Mulgai. For the council has announced that parking will be free in the council's fee-levying car parks on Saturdays during the festive period. Charges were suspended on November the 29th and there will be no fee to pay on the following dates either, December the 6th, 13th, 20th and 27th. The move has been welcomed by the BID teams working hard to promote shopping local in both Kirkintilloch and Mulgai. By waiving the parking fee, it is hoped more people will be encouraged to shop local and support the businesses that serve local towns year-round.
Semi-Came's snappy deliveries. This article is unattributed. Shoppers can enjoy home delivery in under an hour thanks to a new partnership between Semi-Cam and Snappy Shopper. Kirkintilloch is one of 6 Scottish towns chosen for the initial rollout. Orders are picked, packed and delivered locally, ensuring the service supports the town's high street. The trial phase focuses on fragrance and Christmas gifts, but will expand to include Semi-Cam's full range in the new year. Brian Toner, Semi-Cam Online Development Manager, said, "We know how important the high street is to communities like Kirkintilloch. This launch keeps local shopping at the heart of what we do, while adding the convenience customers value." That article is unattributed.
M&S eyes up new stores by Julie Curry. Marks & Spencer has released a list of 500 target locations it is considering for new or renewed food stores. Among the 32 locations on that list in Scotland are Bishopbriggs and Mulgai. Both towns already boast M&S retail units. However, the firm is considering improving the food halls in its existing locations. With 20 stores opening or renewing before the end of the financial year, creating 800 new jobs, M&S is also picking up the pace on renewing its store estate. The firm's aim is to double the size of its food business and modernise its store estate. To grow the food business, M&S is looking to expand the size of its food stores to stock a fuller range and attract more customers to do their weekly shop. M&S is also now expanding the number of locations in its search for sites, including areas in Scotland where there is not yet a store. All of the existing and new site locations would be in the supermarket giant's new renewal format, which means they would boast an extended range of M&S food, wider aisles for bigger shopping trolleys, and larger car parks for more family shoppers. Alex Freudman, M&S Food Managing Director, said, "The strong performance of our new M&S food stores gives us the confidence to explore even more locations across the UK. With more than 20 stores opening or modernised before the end of the financial year, we are moving faster. Our team want new sites where we could open a large M&S food store as we deliver on our strategy to bring the right stores to the right places and offer the best shopping experience, range and availability for our customers." M&S is now searching for sites in 500 potential locations, including Bishopbriggs and Milngavie, to bring its tried and tested format for stores to modernise in existing markets and bring food stores to new areas. Over half of the stores across the M&S estate, including convenience stores, are expected to be in the renewal format by April 2028. M&S is particularly looking for large sites that could stock the full range of M&S food, growing the size of its food stores to an average of 18,000 square foot. It is looking for highly visible and accessible sites across the UK. That article was written by Julie Curry.
Your Say on Health Cuts, a report by Julie Curry. It will come as no surprise to readers that East Dunbartonshire Health and Social Care Partnership is facing extreme financial pressures. With projected savings required to be made by the HSCP of between £7.6 million and £13.3 million each year from 2024-25 onwards, there will be no easy decisions. However, over the next few weeks, the HSCP is asking readers to share their views in its budget consultation. Launched last Monday, the consultation will run until Sunday, December 21. Libby Cairns, East Dunbartonshire HSCP Board Chairwoman, said, "We face a challenging financial situation, but remain committed to providing the people of East Dunbartonshire with the very best services possible when they need us. Our dedicated teams work throughout the area, supporting individuals and families at all ages and stages of life, offering vital help and advice. To support that work, we must achieve a balanced budget and target our scarce resources where they are needed most. We need the input of local people who use our services, work with us, or work for us to help guide that process. Everyone's views matter, and we will consider all feedback when reviewing the budget and setting out the plan for the coming year. The HSCP's services are funded by NHS, Greater Glasgow and Clyde, and East Dunbartonshire Council. It also receives direct funding from the Scottish Government for specific priorities. In addition, charges for certain services help to support and maintain frontline services, although the HSCP is restricted in what it can charge for. It is responsible for delivering community health care, social work and social care services to residents in East Dunbartonshire, providing professional assessment of needs and care planning to support access to social care services and health interventions. The HSCP directly or indirectly provides services which include social work, children and family services, and universal child health services, community and prison-based criminal justice services, and care home care. It also supports care homes, residential care, independent living and social support, district nursing, rehabilitation, child, adult and public protection, community occupational therapy, equipment and adaptation, drugs and alcohol recovery and mental health services, and prescribing of medicines through GPs and other registered prescribers. The HSCP also has a responsibility for unplanned hospital care and reducing the amount of time people spend within a hospital setting when this is not best place for them. In addition, it hosts 2 health board-wide services on behalf of NHS GGC, Specialist Children's Services and the Public Dental Service, Primary Care Oral Health. If you have experience of using any of these HSCP services, your opinions matter, and it's imperative you have a say in the survey. For more information on the consultation or to complete the survey, visit https://health.easternbarton.gov.uk/budget-202627. That report was written by Julie Curry. Main Street still closed, a report by Julie Curry. Residents in Twecker are growing increasingly frustrated with the time it is taking to resolve flooding in the village's main street. Main Street has been closed between MacDonald Crescent and the B8048 at Drumgrew roundabout due to flooding since Friday, November 14. The closure was originally scheduled to end on Friday, November 21, but residents have been told it will not reopen until December 12, a delay of more than 3 weeks. Residents have reported conflicting information from the council. Some were told the council would not clear the blockage at all, while others were informed the road had reopened when it clearly had not. It is understood that an ambulance was also recently forced to reroute, causing delays and heightening local fears about emergency response times. Adam Harley, the Scottish Liberal Democrat candidate for Strathkelvin and Bearsden, has written to East Bartonshire Council asking for clarity. He said, "This is causing huge inconvenience for residents in Twecker. They deserve straight answers. Instead, they've been given contradictory messages and no clear plan for reopening this vital route." The council must urgently explain why the works have been delayed by more than 3 weeks and provide reassurance that they will deal with this flooding and reopen the road as a matter of urgency. Thomas McMenamin, the council's executive officer for Roads and Neighbourhood Services, explained the delay this week. He said, "Twecker Road was closed due to surface water flooding. Roads officers are working with local landowners to address the root cause of the issue, which is preventing the surface water from dissipating. The issue appears to be a blocked culvert within a private quarry, and the landowner is committed to addressing the issue following a site visit by council officers after the initial flooding report. We appreciate the frustration that can be caused by a road closure, but the safety of road users is paramount, and the road will be reopened when it is safe to do so." That report was written by Julie Curry.
Schools are being let down. This article was unattributed. Mid Dunbartonshire MP Susan Murray has pointed to a lack of funding from the SNP government being to blame for a carbon monoxide leak at Balmoody Primary School. Earlier this year, East Dunbartonshire Council was fined after admitting breaching health and safety conditions at the Bishopbriggs Primary School in 2020. For weeks, children complained of feeling unwell when collected, only to recover once they were home. Susan said, "When we send our children to school, we expect them to be safe. This terrible incident shows how important it is that all our schools, including schools which are going to be rebuilt, are maintained to a high standards while pupils are in the building. Local councils in Scotland are clearly being underfunded by the SNP government, affecting all our local services as well as putting children at risk. Not only is Scottish education falling behind England, but the maintenance of schools is also badly affected. That article was unattributed. A Truly Magical Crafty Gallery by Julie Currie. Bishopbriggs Library opened its doors in November to a burst of colour, creativity and community spirit. The Magical Crafting Club hosted its Winter Crafty Gallery from November 17th to 22nd as part of the Book Week Scotland programme. The exhibition celebrated local children's imagination, showcasing artwork inspired by this year's Book Week Scotland theme, Friendship. Each class in the club contributed illustrations connected to a collaborative creative project, turning their ideas into a vibrant display for families and the wider community to enjoy. The artwork was created as part of a special project called the Moxie Friendship Adventure, a collaborative storytelling activity designed for Book Week Scotland. Each after-school craft club class, based in Bishopbriggs Free Church, contributed illustrations for different parts of the story, exploring themes of friendship, imagination and working together. This project became the heart of the gallery, with every piece of artwork representing a moment from the children's shared creative journey. On Wednesday, November 19th, the club hosted a special VIP gallery night, welcoming more than 60 children, parents and relatives to celebrate the young artist's achievements. Families enjoyed refreshments, meeting one another and the joy of seeing their children's artwork displayed publicly. Each child was invited up to receive a round of applause, a special award and a thank you bookmark featuring a QR code linking to a collaborative ebook created for Book Week Scotland. Joanna Craig, founder of the Magical Crafting Club, said, "The digital book brought together artwork from all classes and reflected the club's belief that creativity grows stronger when shared. It was a proud moment for the children, who were thrilled to see their work brought to life in a meaningful keepsake." The evening represented more than a gallery viewing. It was a celebration of the club's core values: creativity, sustainability, belonging and growth. Families said it was an opportunity for their children to feel proud, confident and part of something special. Parents expressed how the club has helped their children develop emotionally, socially and creatively, with some noting improvements in fine motor skills, confidence and comfort engaging with adults and peers. Through recycled crafts, imaginative projects and opportunities like the gallery, the club aims to support children in building confidence and forming meaningful friendships while celebrating sustainable creativity. In the past year, the club has been involved in local school events, charity activities, and community projects, including providing free craft sessions at events and fundraising for Marie Curie at Morrison's. The exhibition was hosted by Bishopbriggs Library as part of its Book Week Scotland celebrations. Alan Wright, East Dunbartonshire Culture and Leisure Trust Chairman, said, "The library was delighted to host a special showcase night in partnership with the Magical Crafting Club, celebrating the Book Week Scotland theme of friendship through stories, art and creativity. Delivered as part of East Dunbartonshire Leisure and Culture Trust's Book Week Scotland programme, the event welcomed more than 60 attendees who enjoyed an evening of imaginative displays, warm community spirit and a shared love of books." That article was written by Julie Currie.
Wednesday the 3rd of December. Family announcements. Deaths. Lawson, Moira Christine, peacefully at home on Monday, December 24th, 2025 in her 93rd year. Moira Christine, née McCash, beloved wife of the late David, much-loved mother of Jane, Alistair, Liz and Christine. dear mother-in-law of John, Donnie and Alison, a loving grandmother to Ailey, Alistair, Lewis and Rory, and a proud great-grandmother. Funeral service at Bishopbriggs Crematorium on Friday, December the 5th at 1 p.m. No flowers, please. Watson, Jean, Nee Bagley, formerly Morton, passed peacefully on November 25th, 2025 at Marie Curie Hospice, Stobhill, Glasgow, aged 79. Much loved mum, gran, aunt and friend, and a keen bowler at Westermains Bowling Club. Funeral service at Bishopbriggs Crematorium on Wednesday, December the 10th at 11 a.m, followed by refreshments at the Broadclough Hotel, Kirkintilloch. No flowers, please. Donations, if desired, to Marie Curie Hospice. Whitelaw William, Billy, Kirkintilloch. Peacefully at Stobhill Care Home on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025, aged 97 years. William Whitelaw, beloved husband of Jean, loving father of Graham and Eileen, grandfather of Neil, Kenneth, Alistair and Ewan. Funeral service will take place at 10 a.m. on Monday, December the 8th, 2025 at Kirkintilloch Church of God, 16 Regent Street, G66 1JF, followed by committal at Cador Cemetery, Crosshill Road, Bishopbriggs. Family and friends are respectfully invited. Family flowers only, please. Donations, if desired, will be for the RNLI. And that was this week's family announcements. Heart of the Matter by Dr. Frank Dunn. Role of Artificial Intelligence in Medicine. The current president of the Royal College of Physicians, Professor Hani Etiiba, a former trainee and now distinguished cardiologist and friend, kindly invited me to the President's Annual Conference Day, which this year focused on Artificial Intelligence, AI. This abbreviation was used in cardiology in days gone by to signify a leaky heart valve, aortic incompetence, but no more. I must continue to ease myself into the 21st century. I was convinced before the meeting that I would be out of my depth, but it was well worth attending with the advantage of meeting some medical colleagues and friends from days gone by. One respected colleague told me that he looked forward to reading my articles. This put a spring in my step, leading once again to taking up my pen. I remember when a computer arrived at my desk in the 1990s and I immediately put it into the corner of the room, thinking I would never need to use it. However, total isolation would have been the result of such a decision, and gradually it became a key part of my life, both at work and at home. I guess we are at the same stage regarding AI. It is everywhere and it's starting to make a major, predominantly positive impact on all aspects of my medical care. One of the earliest examples of AI was in the University Department of Medical Cardiology at the Glasgow Royal, where I worked as a junior doctor in the 1970s. Professor Peter McFarlane began to look at the potential of computers for reporting ECGs. Initially, Peter validated his technique in comparison to manual reporting, and gradually, with refinement, less and less manual reporting was required. Very few people remembered this pioneering work, even though it was on our own doorstep. The explosion of AI took some time thereafter, but now it is established in a whole range of areas. The reporting of X-rays is one example of AI being highly effective and accurate, and greatly reducing the time spent manually reporting. Solving clinical diagnostic problems can also be greatly aided by AI, as can assisting guidelines for treatment in a whole range of areas. I was especially interested in a talk on the vexing question of constantly overcrowded accident and emergency A&E departments. Evidently, 90% of attendances are generated by just 5% of the population, often from deprived areas. The speaker spoke of a plan to visit these patients at home and see how they could be supported to break the cycle of recurrent A&E attendances. This could include offering advice on home vaccination, cessation of smoking, and advice on the early start of antibiotics in patients with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. This is commendable and critically important, with currently overwhelmed A&E departments. Another important issue raised was the need to update the curriculum for medical students. Clearly, there is a need to incorporate the various strands of AI in medicine in this area. The most important bottom line is that AI can never replace the doctor-patient relationship. Every patient is different, and their individual needs can only be addressed through personal contact. This will permit tailoring of treatment accordingly. There was a discussion about what doctors might look like in 10 years. A reasonable issue to muse about, but as someone who has just entered his 80th year, I'm more interested in doctors today. That piece was written by Dr. Frank Dunn and read by Ian McKenna. From the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald, date Wednesday the 3rd of December 2025. Opinion. The letters page. Let's talk. Please send your letters via email to kirkyherald@jnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNSCOTLAND.co.uk. Please write letters in the subject field. Please keep letters to a maximum of 300 words. Letters cannot be published without a name and postal address. Also include a daytime phone number if possible. We reserve the right to edit any letter. Workers betrayed. Sir, Labour entered office promising not to raise taxes on working people. The OBER's latest assessment shows the opposite is happening. Taxes will rise to 38% of GDP, the highest level in modern British history, with 2/3 of the increase since 2019 coming from personal taxes. Much of this is the result of repeated freezes to income tax thresholds. Labour has now extended those freezes and will put nearly 1 million people into the higher rate. At the same time, the much discussed mansion tax has been redrawn to start at £2 million, which conveniently spares several senior Labour figures from paying it. This does little to build public confidence. The OBR also confirms that national debt now stands at 96% of GDP, almost twice the advanced economy average. Borrowing costs are the highest in the G7 apart from Iceland. Productivity growth has been cut again, and real household disposable income is set to rise by only 0.25% per year. The UK faces high taxes, high debt and low growth, yet neither Labour nor the Conservatives seem willing to change course. This is why more people are looking to reform UK. The familiar economic model has failed and voters want something better. Yours, etc. Alistair Marjorie. Address provided. Green means poor. Sir, there has been a deafening silence by the BBC, the press and the digital media over the fact that, in January 2026, there will be a 5% fall in the unit cost of gas to below 6p per unit. No comments on the fact that the increase in bills to consumers is down to the massive cost of renewable electricity. Note, also, the lack of discussion over the fourfold increase in the strike price for the output of floating wind farms to £271 per megawatt hour, a cost that increases the price of electricity to around 45p per unit once the turbines are installed in the North Sea. Once Holyrood introduces a ban on domestic gas, the annual household energy bill will escalate to around £7,000, meaning Scots earning less than the salary of the MSP will be in fuel poverty. Why the deafening silence from all political parties, especially the Reform Party, over the fact that going green will make Scotland going poor? Just ask the people working in the oil and gas industries in the North East, Grangemouth and Mossmorton, or those manufacturing buses in Falkirk. Yours, etc., Ian Moir, by email. Postage stamp appeal. Sir, thank you so much for all the help that you have given friends of BCRT this year in raising funds by sending us your philatelic items to raise funds for the research into primary bone cancer. Every new, used and obsolete postage stamp, horizon labels, the square white or gold labels that the post office stick on everything instead of stamps, Royal Mail parcel labels, collections, first day covers and anything else philatelic sent to us will help raise vital funds for the Bone Cancer Research Trust. We also collect picture postcards of any age and any subject. Stamps can be sent to BCRT, (FOB), Stamp Recycling, P.O. Box 6198, Leighton Buzzard, LU7 9XD. Please visit our Facebook page, Friends of BCRT, postage stamp, for more information, and spread the word to your friends. Our Instagram is It's the Stamp Lady, or one word. So please follow us. Yours, etc., Terry Bush, Friends of BCRT, postage stamp appeal. People of Scotland deserve better, sir, and thus it would seem that we Scots have to rely on good old John Swinney at the helm of this northern region of the UK. Previous leaders have either died or have retreated into insignificance. But surely we Scots deserve better. The SNP emerged in the political scene without prompting. Its supporters demanded independence from the UK, but when faced with a referendum to consolidate such a major political change, were effectively pipped at the post. It can only be hoped that the spring of 2026 Holyrood elections will witness the demise of the SNP as a political party. The Scottish Executive, or Government, will be controlled by a Labour/Liberal Democrat alliance, and any influence on the part of Nigel Farage and his party is kept to a minimum. Otherwise, it would seem that the only alternative would be to return to a Westminster-based government. Yours, etc., Robert I.G. Scott, address provided. That was this week's letters page, read by Ian McKenna.
From Caploudy to the Beast, Meet the New Fleet. A report by Julie Curry. What do a Scottish pop star, much-loved country park and a memorable weather event have in common? They were all sources of inspiration when East Dunbartonshire primary school children were asked to name the council's new gritters. 4 shiny new vehicles have been added to the fleet in time for winter, and, following in a well-ploughed tradition of naming gritting machines, the call went out to all primary schools to get creative. They did just that, coming up with Lou Ice Caploudy, Mugduck Melter, Control, Alt and D Ice, and Beast from the East Dunbartonshire. More than 200 children rose to the challenge and submitted name suggestions on the themes of weather, popular culture, and local landmarks. Entries were judged by Councillor Paul Ferretti, Place, Neighbourhood and Corporate Assets Committee convener, along with members of the fleet team. The winning names, now emblazoned on the side of the new tracks, are the creative work of P7 Holy Family PS pupil Daniel, who came up with Lou Ice Caploudy in honour of the Glasgow singer, Beast from the East Dunbartonshire, named by P5 Thomas Muir PS pupil Jackson, and Mugduck Melter, coined by fellow Thomas Muir PS P4 pupil AJ as a nod to the much-loved country park near Milngavie, which he enjoys visiting with his family. The final name, Control, Alt, D Ice, was submitted by 2 pupils at 2 different schools, Gartconnor PS P6 pupil Millie and Balmaldy PS P6 pupil Lewis, both of whom love gaming. Councillor Ferretti said an appeal was put out to primary school children to come up with memorable names to mark this expansion of the gritting fleet, and the children absolutely delivered. With so many clever and witty submissions, the judging process was a tough but enjoyable process, and we have got 4 crackers in time for Christmas. The role of the gritting fleet is a vital part of the Council's winter maintenance programme, and the Name a Gritter competition was a fun way to raise awareness among our school children of the work done to keep pedestrians and vehicles moving during the winter months. Many thanks to all the children who took part and the teachers and head teachers who supported them. In between their gritting shifts, the new trucks visited the winning schools to allow the children to see their chosen names on their sides. The winning pupils were presented with a certificate by Councillor Ferretti, and their classmates treated to a road safety lesson by the fleet team in the playground. The council is responsible for keeping the roads safe in winter, and the team is on 24-hour standby from October to April. There are now 12 gritting lorries with snowplough attachments fitted with the so-called swap bodies to allow them to be utilised for other tasks out with winter, along with 10 footway gritters with ploughs. Officers check the Highways Forecasting Service and road sensors 3 times a day to plan gritting action, which is then updated on the gritting page of the council website each day at www.easternbarton.gov.uk/a-services/pavements-services/roads-pavements-transport/gritting. Details of the council's winter service policy can also be found on the website. That report was written by Julie Curry.
Kirkintilloch Herald, Wednesday the 3rd of December 2025. Please donate a gift of kindness by Julie Curry, reporter. julie.curry@iconicmediagroup.co.uk. Social Bite's Festival of Kindness has returned to Glasgow with a 10-metre tall twinkling tree of kindness on Vinicum Street. The charity is calling for kind-hearted readers to get involved and help make someone's Christmas. Josh Littlejohn, MBE, CEO and founder of Social Bite, was joined by his 3-year-old son Teddy for the tree switch-on. He is hoping readers will visit the tree and donate toys, a hot winter meal, warm clothing and essential everyday items for individuals and families facing homelessness and poverty this winter. Social Bite aims to collect 300,000 donations, reinforcing its ongoing commitment to supporting homeless and vulnerable members of the community while spreading kindness during the holiday season. This year also marks the launch of Tags of Kindness, a new initiative inviting retailers to play a direct role in supporting people experiencing homelessness. Participating shops will receive tags to attach to selected items identified by people affected by homelessness as the things that would help most, from warm gloves and children's gifts to practical items like a SIM card. Shoppers can buy any tagged item, as well as items on Social Bite's wish list, and donate it at the Tree of Kindness. Josh said, with the number of people sleeping rough and experiencing homelessness in Glasgow continuing to rise, the Festival of Kindness has become a vital lifeline for people in need, providing essential items that so many of us take for granted. To reach our 300,000 target, we're asking kind-hearted retailers to help us make it even easier for shoppers. Donations of £28 could provide someone with a hot Christmas meal, a gift, a bundle of essential items and a bed for the night. Supporters can also donate specific items such as a pack of warm gloves for £10. The Tree of Kindness is now open until December the 22nd, Monday to Wednesday, noon to 4 p.m, and Thursday to Sunday 11am to 7pm. To donate virtually, visit socialbite.co.uk/Festival of Kindness. That's socialbite.co.uk/FESTIVAL-OF-KINDNESS. Retailers looking to get involved should email partnerships@socialbite.co.uk. That's PARTNERSHIPS at social-bite.co.uk.
Pupils will have a chance to shine at Braehead Christmas Trade Fair. Braehead Shopping Centre will again welcome the Young Enterprise Christmas Trade Fair this festive season. It will feature schools from East and West Dunbartonshire, Renfrewshire, East Renfrewshire and Inverclyde councils. The partnership, which has been running for over a decade, gives Braehead's visitors the chance to shop local and support the next generation of business talent. On Thursdays, December 4 and 11, from 5pm to 8pm, guests are invited to enjoy a festive evening filled with sparkle, creativity and one-of-a-kind finds, all crafted by some of the local community's brightest young entrepreneurs. Handmade gifts and sustainable goodies to tasty treats and clever creations, there really is something for everyone. Last year's winning schools were Douglas Academy, which made wooden carved chopping boards, recipe engraved boards and Christmas themed boards, and Johnson High School, which produced handmade reusable wax food wraps. Every purchase funded food bank donations and community initiatives. The team from Johnson High School went on to win Renfrewshire Company of the Year and represented the region at the Scottish Finals in May 2025. Ashley Billsland, Braehead Shopping Centre Director, said, "The Young Enterprise Christmas trade fairs are a key highlight of our annual calendar, offering a unique opportunity to buy presents you won't find anywhere else directly from the young people. The fair is a not-to-be-missed evening out." Supporting our local communities is at the heart of Braehead, and this is just one way we're proud to celebrate and champion the people that make it special. Eloise McNeely, Young Enterprise Company Programme Lead, added, "Our young people start the programme in August, and the Braehead Christmas trade fairs are a much anticipated opportunity to showcase all their hard work. We are so appreciative of the long-standing partnership we have with Braehead and the support it gives in making this event a reality. We can't wait to welcome people to this year's stands to see the innovative products our young people have created."
Kirkintilloch Herald, Wednesday, 3rd of December 2025. Community effort pays off in lighting up Kirky. By Julie Curry, reporter. Julie.Curry, julie.currie, @iconicmediagroup.co.uk. Kirkintilloch was aglow with festive spirits as local residents came together to celebrate the town's Christmas lights switch on. Light Up Kirky was organised by Kirky Cinema in partnership with SHS Events, EDLC, Adventure Events Limited, Grace, the Forth and Clyde Canal Society and St Mary's Parish Church. This year's celebration was a community-led triumph, showcasing the very best of Kirkintilloch's talent, teamwork and Christmas cheer. The festivities began with DJ Polly M of Paul and Macy's Cafe, who kept the crowd energised with festive favourites and party classics. There were also heartfelt performances from Kirkintilloch Ladies Choir and Kirky players in Regent Gardens. Crowds loved the Christmas market by SHS Events, packed with traders selling seasonal treats and festive food. Families had a blast at the Christmas Fun Fair, with an ASN hour on the Sunday. Forth and Clyde Canal Society festive boat rides delighted visitors and St Mary's Parish Church opened their doors to the community for an arts and craft event and carol singing. A highlight on Saturday was the Light Up Kirkie Parade, led by Kirkintilloch Pipe Band. They were joined by Santa on a trishaw, kindly provided by CWAS Twecker, pupils and teachers from Hairstains Primary School, JC Cheer and Dance Academy, festive mascots, elected members, local families, and local organisations Grace and All Minds in a dazzling procession. As crowds gathered around the town's Christmas tree, excitement peaked when Provost Gillian Rennick, accompanied by her dog Fergus, led the countdown for the lights switch on. Provost Rennick said, "It was fantastic to see so many people turn out to support Light Up Kirkie. A great number of families and community groups joined the parade as we made our way along the Cowgate to Regent Gardens. Our cafes and shops were bustling with customers as people also supported Small Business Saturday. It really was a win-win for the Kirkintilloch community." The Saturday event ended with a free Christmas film screening of Home Alone in Kirkintilloch Town Hall, chosen by the community. Kirkie Cinema manager Serena Marshall said, "This event showed exactly what makes Kirkintilloch so special. Our community came together, partners, performers, volunteers and residents, to create an unforgettable start to the festive season. We'd like to thank East Dunbartonshire Council for all of its support in organising this event. Light Up Kirkie demonstrated the potential for community events in the Regent Gardens. We'd also like to thank St Mary's Parish Church for allowing us to start our Light Up Kirkie parade from the car park and launching our parade by turning on their own Christmas lights." The next Kirkie Cinema event will be on December the 20th in the Town Hall. Buy tickets for the Polar Express Pyjama Party at kirkiecinema.ticketlight.co.uk. That's https://kirkiecinema.ticketlight.co.uk. Light Up Kirkie was made possible by East Dunbartonshire Council's Community Grant Scheme.
G'day, it's Philip here from Q and Review, reading the church news from the Kirkie Herald. And we go first of all to Milton-a-Campsie Church. Advent is here. The Hope candle was lit on Sunday. Next Sunday it's Peace. Our Posada, Mary and Joseph, has begun its journey through the parish as families and groups give them a room for the night. The journey will be completed on Christmas Day when Mary and Joseph bring baby Jesus to our Christmas Day service. This Monday at 9:45am baby and toddler group, 2pm at the Hobbies Club, 7:30pm badminton club, Tuesday 9:30am Cafe Connect, Wednesday 7pm time to pray in the Eric Liddell room there, and at 7:30 the guild meet. Friday BB at Campsie Church, Anchor Boys 6pm to 7 is then the junior company section from 7 till 8:15. Our November charity was Guide Dogs for the Blind. In December we supported Chaz. Our November messenger has been delivered through every letterbox in the village. Practices have begun for the Mamma Mia that should be interesting. Mamma Mia Nativity, planned for December the 21st. If you'd like to learn to sing songs, stay behind after church on Sunday for a quick practice. So there you have it. Wow, Milton-a-Campsie is a place to be. Also, Church of God in Kirkintilloch at Regent Hall, Regent Street. On Sunday, there will be a family praise service at 4pm, featuring video clips. Our praise band and guest speaker is Ian Linlithgow from Kilmarnock. Refreshments will be served after the service. A warm welcome is extended to all. Every Wednesday, the coffee corner is open from 12 till 2pm. For home baking coffee, usual. Join our friends here and neighbours for a coffee and a chat. For up-to-date and further information, services, check out their website, all the W's, regenthall.org. And now to St David's Memorial Park. Sunday, December the 7th, is the second Sunday in Advent, and is also our gift service, when you are invited to bring a gift in a gift bag, please, for donations to the East Dunbartonshire Women's Aid. The service will be led by Meg and Bill Lindsay. And their topic this week is Challenge of Peace. Please stay after the service for tea and coffee. Our all-seated short lunchtime service is on as usual on Tuesday, December the 9th at 12 noon. The Guild also meets on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. when Glenda White will be talking about the Lindisfarne Gospel. That should be an interesting talk. And from Friday, December the 12th until Saturday, December the 14th, we have our Christmas Tree Festival, when our church organisations are each invited to decorate a small tree with their interpretation of the Christmas story. The festival will be open from Friday from 3:30 p.m. until 7 p.m. on Saturday from 11 till 2 p.m. and after the service on Sunday, December the 14th. So there you have that. Yeah, wow. And now we move to Home Church in Kirkintilloch, Lammermuir Road, and they have various other churches affiliated to the Home Church in various areas of Scotland. Just a reminder that the Home Hub in Kirkintilloch Main Street is open for tea and coffee 10 till 4 p.m, Monday, Tuesday and Friday. Sunday services are 9:30 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. in Kirkintilloch, 6:30 p.m. in some locations, and worship service followed by the refreshments. A warm welcome awaits all either service, which will be identical. Also Children's Church at the same times. Monday, ladies prayer meeting on Zoom every Monday at 7 p.m. Read through the Bible discussion group on Zoom every fortnight at 8 p.m. Tuesday is Heartbeat in the morning, teaching from 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. Bible study on Zoom 2:30 to 4 p.m. Wednesday, home groups for Bible discussion and prayer in various locations at 7 p.m. Last Wednesday in the month in church, the Upper Room, a prayer meeting. Thursday's prayer meeting in church from 7 to 8 a.m. Football in the evening from 8 p.m. Friday craft and coffee at Home Hub from 10 a.m. open to the community. Saturday, December the 6th, men's prayer breakfast at 9:30 a.m. Friday prayer meeting in church at 7:30 p.m. Youth fellowship also meets at 7:30 p.m. Home radio is available every day. See Facebook, Instagram and church website for more details. And now to Bishopbriggs, to St James Church in Hilton Road. There is a communion service on Thursday, December the 4th at 11 a.m. and on Sunday, December the 7th at 9 a.m. in the chapel. At 10:30 a.m. on Sunday, there is a sung Eucharist in the church. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea, coffee and after the service. And Thursday service is at 10:30 a.m. Sunday service on Sunday, December the 7th from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. There is a session of crafty kids in the hall. Yes, all families are very welcome to come along and enjoy activities together. And dates for your diary. Tuesday, December the 9th at 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday club at 2 p.m. Chair aerobics, all welcome. And on Sunday, December the 14th at 6 p.m. lessons and carols, followed by refreshments. There is also other virtual services and groups for up-to-date information. Yeah, you guessed it, check out their social media, Facebook, St James LS Bishopbriggs, website, all the W's, stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. Wow, a lot happening in Eastern Bartonshire and all the local churches. Hopefully you can get along to one of them, or one of their various meetings that they have. And now we go to Lenzie Old Parish Church, that is. Sunday worship on December the 7th is at 11 a.m, led by Karen Henry, who will lead the service. Time out at 7:45 p.m, the start of our Christmas nights, beginning with Christmas quiz on Monday, December the 1st, and Christmas class on December the 8th and 15th. A warm welcome to all. Craft group is on Wednesday, 10 a.m, knit and natter. Do you like to embroider or quilt? Come along to this session. It's a crafty morning. Haha, I like that. Thursday club is on December the 4th at 2 p.m. in the new hall. Enjoy tea, coffee and home baking, followed by a game of Scrabble, dominoes, etc. And if preferred, you can sit back and chat and do your own knitting. And there are books for sale. And any donations go to Women's Aid. Cost is £2. Scottish country dancing Thursdays in the church at Hall at 7:30 till 9:30 p.m. Come along for fun, fitness and friendship. You will be made very welcome. On December the 5th on Friday, we have a film night in the church halls. In addition, there will be lots of goodies to eat and drink and even a free enterprise draw. Wow. And if you are Very good. There may be a visit from a very special VIP on the night. Just turn up at the door for a start time of 7 p.m. This is a free event, but donations to church funds will be appreciated. I wonder who the VIP is. Will he have a red suit or will he not? And now to Lenzie Union Parish Church, that is. You're invited to join us for communion on Sunday, December the 7th, and will be led by the Reverend Leslie Grieve. And the meeting place opens for tea and coffee and home baking every Wednesday, 10 till 12 noon in the new hall. Everyone from the young to the very young at heart is welcome to attend. And we also have a good selection of greeting cards and second-hand books for sale. And the coffee pot opens on Fridays for tea, coffee, home baking. A warm and friendly welcome awaits you. That's the same time, to between 10 and 12 noon. Lenzie Loves Lego, Saturday, December the 6th, from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. in the Old Hall. An opportunity to be creative for all Lego lovers. Messy Church on Saturday, December the 6th as well, at between 4 and 5 p.m. in the new hall. Everyone is welcome to come along to a fun-filled hour, challenges, crafts and experiments. Please book a place. So if arrangements change, we can contact you. Text 07774 192 659. And I'll say that again, it's 07774 192 659, or email o'malley.dom@yahoo.co.uk. Tea Cafe, Monday, December the 8th at 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. in the new hall. Information, entertainment and a time to relax and chat for those living with dementia. Bring a friend or carer. Come along to the Christmas experience on Wednesday, December the 10th. There will be 6 performances of this multi-sensory drama for all ages at 9:45 a.m, 11 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. and in the evening at 6:30 p.m. till 7 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Move around from scenery to scene. The story will unfold before you. Christmas unfolds. Hope to see you there, your friends and your family there. Not to be missed. And I've been to these before, and they're generally very good. And truth be told, for a few years who was I? I was the Archangel Gabriel. Not just a normal angel, but I was the Archangel. And I remember it fondly with my big wings there. So come along to a really amazing time there at Lenzie Union Church to their nativity experience. And lastly, but not least, Springfield, Cambridge. On Sunday, December the 7th, morning worship will be conducted by Ian Taylor and assisted by his student in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. The Sunday school will meet in room 2. An offering will be taken during the service, as they do most Sundays. Morning worship is also being live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website, allthewspringfieldcambridge.org.uk, and their Facebook. And where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can be found. And there is a vestry hour on Wednesday, December the 3rd, from 10 to 11 a.m. For anyone who would like to speak with the minister, there will be a midweek service on Wednesday, December the 3rd, from 11:10 to 11:30, followed by tea and coffee in the Hall of Fellowship. The Guild is inviting the congregation to join them supporting Eastern Battenshire Warehouse. Bring along donations, etc., and leave them in the cupboard there. And Lodging House Mission Christmas cards will be on sale in the Hall of Fellowship. Monetary donations can also be made to offset the cost of meals provided on a daily basis to homeless people in Glasgow. The ticket office for the Springfield Cambridge Festival Chorus Christmas Concert is open at Cadder South Hall on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 till 12 noon. The City of Glasgow Wind Orchestra annual Christmas concert takes place on Friday, December the 5th in the church, and at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are £10 and £8 are available at the door on the evening. Children under 12 go free. Refreshments at the interval in the Cameron Hall, finishing with time approximate is roughly about 9:30 p.m. On Sunday, December the 7th, we'll be pleased to receive any jars of grace for the annual appeal for UNICEF. And this is also our gift on Sunday mornings. And the congregation can donate Tesco gift cards, £5 or £10 of cash donations, which will be passed on to the local food bank at Bishopbriggs Free Church and St Rollock's Church for their work with asylum seekers. On Sunday, December the 7th, Eastern Battenshire School's String Orchestra and Chorus return to the church for their annual Christmas concert at 6 p.m. This will be, probably last about an hour, followed by light refreshments. Entry is £2. So there you have it, the whole gamut of stuff happening in Eastern Bartonshire in various churches. Hopefully you can get out to one of them, and I'm sure you'll be encouraged and reminded of the real reason for the Christmas season. God bless you.
Wednesday the 3rd of December, District News. Horticultural Society Report. At our November meeting, members enjoyed an excellent illustrated talk on dahlias by our president, Paul Malcolm. Paul's interest in growing dahlias really took off when he was in his 40s, sparked by reading a book on the subject. He demonstrated how much can be achieved even within the limits of a modest-sized garden, and covered everything from storage of tubers over the winter to preparing blooms for the show bench. Next meeting on December 11 is our Christmas social evening. We have a short quiz and a secret Santa, whilst enjoying mulled wine and festive fare. New members always welcome. For more information, call Paul on 0141 578 1520 or visit www.kirkintillochhorty.org.uk. That's www.kirkintillochhorty.org.uk. Holyrood View, Worrying Conditions of School Buildings by Jamie Green MSP. Eastern Bartonshire schools have long been recognised for their strong academic record. Year after year, pupils here achieve excellent exam results and move on to positive destinations in impressive numbers. Families rightly take pride in that success, and our teachers and school staff deserve great credit for it. But behind these achievements lies a growing concern that cannot be ignored: the condition and safety of some of our school buildings. The recent fire safety inspection at Lenzie Academy was deeply troubling, though the Chief Executive of Eastern Bartonshire Council has reassured parents that the school is safe for pupils and staff to occupy. Adding to those concerns, it was reported recently that a Freedom of Information request about the long-promised replacement building has not been answered, prompting criticism from the Scottish Information Commissioner himself. That simply isn't good enough. Unfortunately, Lenzie Academy is not alone. Parents at Balmouldy Primary are now pursuing legal action following a carbon monoxide leak, an incident that should never have happened. Families deserve openness and swift action when staff and student safety is involved, not delays. As your regional MSP, I have taken these matters directly to Holyrood. I submitted 2 urgent questions on the Lenzie Academy situation and sought to raise the issue with the First Minister at FMQs. Although my questions were not selected, I have written to the Cabinet Secretary for Education and Skills, Jenny Gilruth, urging her to act. In that letter, I called for a national audit of fire safety across all Scottish schools. A nationwide assessment would give pupils, parents and staff the reassurance they deserve and allow any necessary repairs or upgrades to be prioritised. Our schools should be places where young people feel safe, supported and able to thrive. That means dealing seriously with core issues such as building safety, maintenance standards and carbon monoxide monitoring. It is a responsibility that falls not just to government ministers but to all of us, local representatives, councillors and officials alike. Eastern Bartonshire's communities expect high standards. It's time we match their ambitions by ensuring every child learns in a safe, modern and properly maintained school. And that was the Holyrood View by Jamie Green MSP. Clubs. Society of Antiquaries. The next meeting of the Antiquaries will be on Thursday, December the 4th at 7:30pm in the Park Centre, 45 Kerr Street, Kirkintilloch. Tea and coffee will be served from 7pm. We will hear a presentation on After the Garden Festival from Lex Lamb and Kenny Brophy. If you think you know the story of the 1988 Glasgow Garden Festival, be prepared to think again. St Columba's Men's Club. Apparently, meteorological winter starts on December the 1st. Who knew? Most people in this area reckon that winter started months ago. But hey, who doesn't like winter? Those crisp clear days with the golden sun smiling down from an azure sky, highlighting the beautiful stark shapes of the trees and glistening happily in the puddles, in the potholes. Aye, right. What about the other 99% of winter days when sunshine is a mere folk memory, spoken of in hushed tones by those old enough to remember? Well, whatever the weather, St Columba's Men's Club meets every Monday evening at 7:30pm. The club is partway through its winter session, and in many ways a successful session it has been so far, with a number of new members. It was one of these new members, Peter Kelly, who won the first competition of the session, the Billy Patterson Trophy. This competition is a round-robin dominoes contest named after a former club member. The remainder of the club's competitions, in snooker, pool, carpet bowls, table tennis, darts and dominoes, will be beginning when the club restarts on January the 5th, after the Christmas break. Although treated with respect, these contests are always the cause of much hilarity and a lot of banter. If any man is interested in joining, just turn up on a Monday evening. There are no barriers. The only requirement is a Y chromosome. What's on? Old Kirk Museum. Christmas craft at the Old Kirk Museum until December 18th. A mixed exhibition of locally created artwork, including ceramics, glass, wood and other handmade crafts. Open Tuesday to Saturday 10am to 1pm and 2pm to 5pm. Free admission. A Christmas Carol. Dickens' masterpiece, A Christmas Carol, is brought to Kirkintilloch Town Hall as a 1950s radio broadcast in front of a studio audience. Ebenezer Scrooge, Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim, along with all of Dickens' other classic characters, take to the airwaves courtesy of 4 plucky BBC radio actors. Sunday, December 21st, 7:30pm. Tickets £15 from edlc.ticketlight.co.uk. And that was this week's District News, date Wednesday the 3rd of December, read by Ian. Planning notices. East Dunbartonshire Council public notices. Slaughter of Animals (Scotland) Act 1980. Application for the grant of the renewal of a licence to use premises as a knacker's yard from the 1st of January 2026 to the 31st of December 2026. The undernoted have applied for the grant of the renewal of a licence to use premises as a knacker's yard in terms of Section 6 of the above Act. Name and address of applicants: Mr. Henry Johnson and Mr. Robert Johnson, Grays Hill Limited, Mullins Road, Cumbernauld, G68 9BA. Address of premises: Grays Hill Limited, Mullins Road, Cumbernauld, G68 9BA. Type of licence: the use of premises as a knacker's yard. Any objections in terms of Section 6, brackets 3 of the Act should be lodged with the undernoted no later than the 19th of December 2025, and that address is Clive Lewis, Community Protection Manager, East Dunbartonshire Council, 45 Southbank Drive, Kirkintilloch, G66 1XR. www.eastdunbarton.gov.uk. That's www.eastdunbarton.gov.uk. eastbarton.gov.uk. And that was this week's planning notice. Wednesday the 3rd of December. Sport. Gaffer's hopeful loss is just a blip. Report by Brian Yule. Kirkintilloch Rob Roy boss John Gibson says his side will need to learn from it as their 8-match unbeaten run came to an end in Ayrshire. Rob Roy lost 2-1 away to Whitlets Victoria in the West of Scotland First Division as they played more than half of the match with 10 men. A double from Isaac Kerr sent the home side into a 2-goal lead before Rob Roy defender Craig Caird was shown a red card 3 minutes before the break. Although a man down due to the visitors pulled one back in the second period through Scott Granger, but Whitlett sealed the points through Ben Black. Gibson told the club's media team, "To be fair, I thought in the second half we did really well with the 10 men, but I don't think we started well enough. We gave them a 2-goal lead, and the 2 goals we lost were poor. We've not been losing goals like that, so it's disappointing. We then got a foothold in the game, but then had a man sent off. It was over the other side, so I couldn't really see. Some people were saying it wasn't a red card, but the referee made a decision, so we'll look at it back before deciding whether to appeal. We are hopeful it's just a blip, and we can learn from it. We need to see what we can do better because of some of the aspects of the first 25 minutes were not good when we had 11 men." Results. First Division. Darvel 3, Petershill 1. Whitlets Victoria 3, Kirkintilloch Rob Roy 1. Second Division. Thorn Athletic 2, Ashfield 6. Caledonian Locomotive 2, Forth Wanderers 5. Third Division. St Anthony's 2, Glasgow Pershore 0. Fourth Division. Newman's United 1, West Park United 0. West of Scotland League Cup Round 1, Rossville 1, Muirkirk Juniors 9. Fixtures. Friday, West of Scotland League Cup Round 2, Girvan vs Petershill. Saturday, Second Division, Ashfield vs Larkhall, Thistle. Third Division, Craigmark Burtonians vs Finnart, West of Scotland League Cup Round 3, Kirkintilloch Rob Roy vs Harleford United. That article was written by Brian Yule and read by Ian McKenna.
Kirkintilloch Herald, Wednesday, December the 3rd, 2025. Stark signs a pre-contract deal to join Glasgow City. Glasgow City has boosted its ranks ahead of the second half of the campaign by signing Finnish midfielder Teo Stark on a pre-contract agreement. The 21-year-old is currently training with the club after arriving from KUPS in her homeland. Stark has signed a 2.5-year deal that will run until the summer of 2028 and will be available to make her City debut in January. She has represented Finland across youth level alongside her now City teammate Sofia Mata and was named in the senior squad for the first time earlier this year. City head coach Leanne Ross said, "Teo is an exciting young talent and somebody we are delighted to bring to the club. We see a lot of potential in her and we are confident she will add a real presence to our midfield as she continues her development with us." Meanwhile, City has been recognised for its commitment to innovation in women's sport at the 2025 Scottish Women in Sport Awards. It was named winners of the Think Alt Most Valuable Partnership Award for its kit launch campaign with Fowdies, the world's only dedicated retailer of women's sportswear. The club was also nominated for the UWS Community Champion Award for the work the Glasgow City Foundation does in championing women and girls in football. City return to action on Sunday when they host Motherwell in the Women's Scottish Cup, while Rossvale head to Dundee United.
Pippa wins Book of the Year prize. Report by Brian Yule. William Hill Sports Book of the Year award winner Pippa York hopes the escape, The Tour, The Cyclist and Me shows the transgender community in a positive and respectable light. The Escape details York and Sunday Times chief sports writer David Walsh's travels at recent editions of the Tour de France. It tackles topics of doping, gender and sports psychology, discussing York's 11 appearances on the Tour as Robert Miller. Speaking after receiving the £30,000 prize, York said, "Hopefully, The Escape shows transgender people as respectable and ordinary. We are just human beings, we're normal people. In everyday life, I'm in the supermarket or on a train home like everyone else. There's nothing scary about being a trans person. The political climate has changed for the worse, and unfortunately become controversial. I'm in a bit of shock to win the award. Inside I'm really happy, but outside I'm trying to stay calm. I don't know why, maybe I should be jumping up and down." Walsh was previously shortlisted for the award in 2013 and claimed it is now all the more satisfying to pick up the prize with York. He added, "The aim for The Escape was to leave the political debates aside. We just wanted to tell a human story. It's about two people who love the Tour de France, forming a friendship and understanding. I want readers to come with an open mind. I'm as happy as I could ever be about anything in my profession. I was shortlisted before and narrowly missed out, but coming back now and winning, especially with Pippa, is even more satisfying. Reaching the summit is great, but reaching it with someone else is even better. We had so much fun in the Tour de France. Joy, laughter and stimulating conversations. I'd had an unrequited love affair with Robert Miller in a way. I admired him so much, this beautiful climber who looked so natural on the bike. But when I got near him, he scowled and I backed off. I regret that. So, when I met Pippa decades later, and we hit it off, I thought she'd be a wonderful companion on the tour, and it gave me the chance to understand Robert Miller properly." That article was written by Brian Newell. Sports bodies call for extra funding. This report is unattributed. 39 sports governing bodies have written to the Scottish Government to ask it to meet its 2021 commitment to double annual funding for sport to £100 million. Many say that a real terms funding cut over the last 4 years means they are now running on empty. The Scottish governing body for Sport Forum, SGB, which represents senior leaders in sports across Scotland, has warned First Minister John Swinney that rising costs, increased demand and reduced real terms funding threatens the ability of many to continue to operate properly. In the letter to John Swinney and Shona Robison, they want assurances that investment in sport remains a priority, as it was in 2021, and as you prepare for the final budget before this Parliament comes to an end, this commitment remains. Nick Rennie, Chief Executive of Scottish Cycling, said, "We are operating under unsustainable financial pressures, which are having a significant impact on the decisions we make. The Scottish Government has been sympathetic to our position, and we understand the challenges they have faced and are facing, but the truth is, we're running on empty." Doc McKelvey, Chair of the SGB and Chief Executive of Scottish Gymnastics, added, "Over the past year, the Cabinet Secretary for Health and Social Care and the Minister for Sport have listened closely to our arguments and discussed our proposals, but our organisations are struggling on a daily basis and the need is urgent." That article was unattributed. That's the end of this week's podcast. There'll be another one next week if the Lord spares us. Our social media handle is @QAndReview. That's @CUEANDREVIEW.